All right, everyone. How's everyone doing? Welcome back to another episode or video of Awad Talks. And in today's video, we're going to be reacting to a video from Smile to Jannah. And this video is about the Imam who got interviewed, I guess, by Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson, very famous Islamophobe, very well-known Islamophobe, very well-known racist. He recently had the UK riots, the civilized ones they were speaking about online. They weren't so civilized. They were very racist. I saw that Nika Al Milano video, and yeah, so we're just gonna react to some of this video, and yeah, let's just get right into it.
Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. Alright guys, so I'm going to react to this Imam that met Tommy Robinson in Palestine. This is a British Imam from Nottingham, and he threw Ibn
And
Kathir, the famous
he threw him under the bus, yeah. And I think this Imam he got suspended or something. This is kind of deplorable activities, bro. Tommy Robinson's not a friend to the British people, to be honest. He's a Tel Aviv Robinson. He takes his money from Israel, bro. He literally is in Israel right now.
Palestine, I can't remember his name. And then I got my Zionist card out, which said, I am a Zionist. And I bought everything. Let me tell you something, yeah? If there was a war tomorrow, which there will be, because I'll probably start at the end of the session. If there was a war and it kicked off, I would be there on the front line fighting for Israel. Do you know why? Why not? Why not?
And him and his ilk, they're Israeli shills. We just made a video about what's that guy's name? Officer Talmud or Officer Tato. You guys can check on the thing above. But yeah, so listen.
Imam from the UK in Jerusalem.
Even though this guy apparently at the end of the video he actually took a photo with him. I would never want a photo with Tommy Robinson. Maybe one behind bars or something. I take a photo of him there. But other than that, I don't know why you'd want to.
It's clear if you know Islam that taqiyya will be used to defend the ideology from scrutiny. Yet millions believe that being a non-Muslim is punishable by death. This must be challenged at every turn. It can't be ignored. So he still, despite him, I think he's no longer an imam. I think he's got temporary suspension or something because he went against majority of his community, which if I'm not mistaken are Pakistanis. He himself,
Yeah, he's race traders is kind of the most. That's like the lowest type of elevation you can get to be honest. The lowest levels of loserness, I suppose you can get to, and yeah, it's unfortunate that out of all the people, like Tommy Robinson, if you're gonna interview Tommy Robinson, you're gonna go vehemently on his beliefs, but here he's kind of just like softballing the situation.
being a Gujarati, yeah.
How are you? I'm good, man. I'm good. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name's Umer.
Omar.
Yeah.
Omar. We're obviously in Jerusalem.
He goes, yeah, what's your name? Umair. Oman. Okay, Pakistan. Let's. He's a classic.
We're just understanding the complexity of the Jewish side and the Muslim side. What's your view as a British Muslim on State of Israel?
I have no issue as long as people are living in peace. If they have their side, they have their country.
Look at this. You'll see some couple of guards in the back here. That's crazy. Yeah, there's no peace with Israel, to be honest. There's no peace. There's no peace. I don't know what he's talking about. Look at what Israel's done since October 7th. And you don't even have to go. You can go way before October 7th. Way before October 7th, they've been doing the same mumbo jumbo. There's no peace. These guys, this is just a misrepresentation of the situation. Well, that rhymed.
The Palestinians have their own kind of safe spot where they can live freely.
Oh,
No, it's not a safe spot whatsoever. It's a open air prison, as it was described. As you know, they were bombing them repeatedly and vehemently, and They still were actually. They still are even to this day. You know, even though there's a ceasefire, they still bombed inside Palestine. So to say that's a safe spot is a complete lie.
Oh, so already, guys, we can see why this video is so troublesome. Yeah, give Israel their state, and the Palestinians, give them a little spot. Yeah, you Palestinians stay in that spot. Yeah, okay, it's fine. I have no problem with that. Let's see that bit again.
And the Muslim side. What's your view as a British Muslim on state of Israel?
What's your view on the state of Israel? Let's see if you're gonna catch that.
No issue. As long
Nah, he's not gonna catch that. I've got no issue. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah, no issue. I guess.
Palestinian.
the Palestinians have their own kind of safe spot where they can live free.
Palestinian, just give them a safe spot. Israelis, they can keep their.
Bruh, yeah, that's not really the type of response you want to hear.
Injustice, then I think this is the solution for peace in the Middle.
This is the solution for peace.
This
Give
is the solution
Palestinians
for peace. That's ridiculous. There's no solution for peace. Not while Israel's around, like I said before.
a spot. You guys have your country. That's as long as there's peace. How is there gonna be peace? Because even that spot that they give the Palestinians, which they have done, Gaza and West Bank, they're still not happy with that. In the West Bank, they're making
100%.
illegal settlements, which are illegal according to international law.
See, I wasn't expecting to hear that because I didn't expect to hear many Muslims that would recognise
Yeah, that's because this is the naive view.
the Israeli state.
No, as in I have no issue.
I'll see if
Yeah, I have no issue with the Israeli state. We have serious issues with the Israeli state.
you have an issue when something like this happens to you and your family. Then we'll ask some other Tom, Dick and Harry and we'll ask his opinion about what's happening to you. The believing ummah is like one body. The hand feels pain, the rest of the body feels pain. You know this hadith, but suddenly when you're in front of Tommy, give them a little spot in the corner, yeah? Yeah. A'udhu billah, somebody comes into your home and sticks your family into a little spot there and they take over the house, that's okay?
They've been
Brother, I don't even need to put input. That's all facts. All facts. You know, that's what Israel's done, right? It's like somebody breaks into your house. You know, they put you on gunpoint. Hey, but you, this is my house now, and you're gonna get that tiny spot. And sometimes, you know, I'm gonna beat you for no reason. And then you call the cops, and then the cops are like, "Yeah, bro, that's his house, man. I don't know what you want me to tell you. You know, he's been there. That land was promised to him 3,000 years ago. The house was promised to him 3,000 years ago, and that's what it is.
living here for thousands of years. They have a rich history in this part of the Middle East.
Where are you from, bro?
I'm from Britain.
Yeah, they have a rich history. What about the Palestinians? What about their rich history?
Yeah, their history goes way further back. These guys are these Israeli Jews from Europe.
What about them
This wasn't always their land until like about 1950, something like that, right?
predating the Israelis? How about that? You don't want to talk about that, do you?
And if they want to live in this part of the country, in this part of the region of the world, then they can't. But what the issue of the mainly Muslim majority population is, as long as they live in peace together, as long as there's not this oppression and injustice taking place, then we have no problem.
What would you say if I...
Just waffling now. He just keeps.
And he's going to interrupt. You know, Tommy Robinson's a shill. Tommy Robinson's really just a deplorable individual, a deplorable human being. I don't really like Tommy. We don't really like you, man. You're a disgusting human being.
Repeating the same naive, irrelevant point. Living in peace. Living in peace. What's wrong with you, bro? What living in peace? Pick up one book, yeah? And don't even read all of it. Read a couple of pages from it. Yeah, the history of Palestine and what the Israelis have been doing over there. Even the Brits know. When the Brits were there in the Mandate, the King David Hotel, so many British individuals were killed. Yeah, Israel started off by heads of extremist groups, be it Ergun, Stern Gang and Haganah. The leaders of these three extremist groups ended up becoming prime ministers of the early Israel. They were literally founded on hate and violence.
You look at throughout Muslim history, you'll see that when the Crusaders came, then Jewish people expelled from Jerusalem. But when the Muslims ruled, then the Christians, Muslims and Jewish people lived in peace and harmony.
As long as they paid the jizya.
Of course.
Now he's made a
Yeah, so
good point, yeah? And
the jizya.
it's a strong point. He's talking about the convivencia, he's talking about the three faiths, living in harmony, demonstrating that it's not an issue to do with religion, rather it's ownership of land and politics and the likes. Now, if he's media trained, Tommy Robinson throws in jizya there. He should finish his point, complete his point, and then go on to the next argument. But because he's most likely not media trained, let's see.
As long as they pay the tax, which is, we live in Britain,
As long as they were subjugated.
no, as long as they live freely. If you read history, there was no oppression, there was no occupation.
Providing they paid special money for protection.
Just like we do pay our taxes.
But the Muslims didn't have to pay the same tax.
Okay, so he's talking about protection tax, yeah? Tommy is. And then the Imam is responding by making a correlation or an analogy with the UK tax. I'm sorry, but
They're not the same. They're not the same at all. The jizya is way. I'd pay the jizya over paying the taxes. You know, you get to pay in the UK. I think it's like 36%. So
that's not a good analogy. It's not the same as the UK tax. In fact, the jizya is better. The jizya is actually closest to something called a national defense tax, which is only payable for those that are able to fight in the military. Males that are able to fight. If you're old and you cannot fight, you don't have to pay the jizya. Even if you're a monk and you just stay in churches for most of your life worshipping, then you don't have to pay the jizya. If you're a child, if you're disabled, you don't have to pay the jizya. Here, the tax system, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Yeah, you'll get a bit of benefit, but if they feel you could do work, they'll make you do your work. If you're a monk, it doesn't matter. You still have to pay the tax. If you are a woman, you still have to pay tax.
yeah, you know, it's worse, man. It's just and yeah, like what are the taxes? The tax is way more than the jizya, and Muslims have to pay something called zakat, which is obligatory upon them. It's one of the 5 pillars, and that's even more than the jizya, right? So zakat is an obligatory form of almsgiving in Islam, a mandatory annual payment of set portion, and they give about 2.5% of their wealth, right? No, it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you make $5 or $5 million, you always have to pay that 2.5%. But yeah, let's continue.
Unless there are other circumstances or whatnot. And if Muslims cannot grant safety for you because you're not fighting, the Muslims are fighting to defend you and you're in a Muslim land, then your jizya gets returned to you. Case in point, Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah, yeah, when he returned the money because he couldn't guarantee the safety of the individuals.
Yeah. So you get the money. If they can't guarantee your safety, you get that money that you pay for the jizya back. The zakat, you pay it, you don't get that money back. Obviously, it goes to like a better thing, of course. But you know, Tommy, Tel Aviv Robinson, he's trying to make it so like, oh, the jizya, look at this thing. The Muslims are so barbaric. They force you to pay the Jews and the Christian tax. It's very misconstrued, and it's not an accurate representation of what it actually is.
Living in peace and security, I see no issue with this. They have no issue with it.
I have no issue with it. I have no issue with it, brother. I have no issue with it. They have no issue. I have no issue. Who has issue? Tell me who has the issue. You just need to look to your right, Imam, and you see armed Israeli guards standing there. Now, if these guys raise their head,
Israelis, the way that they treat the Palestinians are horrible, are very, very bad. This is very evident. They specifically target civilians. And so, like, you right now, maybe because he's talking to this guy, Tommy Robinson, who's a Israeli shill, and he look at it, his mic says UK on it, but this guy does not represent the UK whatsoever. He's not, you know, he funded the group, the EDL, and that was originally an Israeli Defense Force, and it's similar to the IDF, but over time, I guess he tried to change it to the EDL. A lot of his donors and stuff were Israelis, and who did serve in the IDF apparently. And Mr. Yushan, he's gonna mention that here as well.
The Quran says that to kill one person is as you have killed the entire mankind.
Can you
save one person is as if you have saved the entire mankind.
Can you carry on reading that verse?
He doesn't even want to hear it. Doesn't want to hear it. And he's gonna tell him to continue reading the verse. He's gonna take it out of context, like all these Islamophobes do. They don't want to listen. They just want to react, and they don't really want to ponder on anything. So.
he didn't ask for the Arabic, bro. He's not gonna understand the Arabic. Watch, he's just gonna ignore everything you say and just stick to his script.
في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا.
Can I translate what you said? Unless they cause mischief, and they must have their hands and feet cut off and exiled from the land.
And look at that. Yeah, that's what I said. They just take it instantly out
Do you
of
see?
context.
This is the Tommy that you're dealing with.
That's not up to Tom, Dick and Harry to decide. That is up to a qualified judge to decide. And if you look in Ottoman history, you'll find very few scenarios where that actually took place.
Can I ask, who's Ibn Kathir?
Ibn Kathir is a great...
I jump to Ibn Kathir for some reason. Because Ibn Kathir does tafsir work, which is kind of like, a translation of the Quran, getting more in depth in it. And he's one of the most famous ones who have done it. So, and I'm assuming that Tommy Robinson, he's not a genuine person, to be honest. So he's gonna take it somehow and somehow switch it to his befitting, to his liking.
Mufassir and Muslim theologian.
A great mufassir and a theologian. Yeah, he's setting you up. That's why he's asked you that. You should know what's coming.
Is he very good? Is he recognised well?
Yes.
Ibn Kathir translates.
Ibn Kathir.
Ibn Kathir.
Yeah. What was your name again? Oman or Pakistan?
The word mischief as meaning not believing in Allah.
Okay.
So that verse that you just quoted,
That's his.
you just said he's a great scholar. That word that you just that verse that you just translated, according to that great Islamic scholar, translates that mischief, not believing in Allah, must be punished by death.
You should challenge him. For who? For who? For non-Muslims living in Muslim lands? Because you just need to give one counter verse that says there's no compulsion in religion. You cannot force somebody to accept Islam. There have been cases in the past, and then the judge...
Yeah, Surah Al-Kafirun, Lakum dinukum waliya din. Your religion's for you, my religion's for me, man. All right, if there's no compulsion in religion, that's if you don't want to become a Muslim, you don't have to. No one's gonna force you. It's not something that's like, oh, if you don't become Muslim, you're gonna get your head chopped. This is a misconception. But Tommy Robinson, like he's the master of misconception, that deceiver, manipulator, and he likes to twist things to their own befitting.
Judges have allowed them to go back to their faith. That's the way the Sharia works. You cannot force somebody to accept Islam. The Imam, unfortunately and sadly, is going to throw this great scholar under the bus. And I don't have to agree with everything that he said.
Execution.
That's his opinion. Now, if you
just said he's a great Islamic scholar, yeah? He's one of the most renowned in the world.
That doesn't mean I have to agree with everything.
What's wrong with this guy? Why is he so jittery? Yeah, what is he doing, man? Are you okay? Are you on the stuff again, huh? Yeah, there's been reports of this guy. He's apparently loves drugs. So
He says,
I don't agree. I don't have to agree with everything that he says. You're not going to clarify his view. You're not going to give...
Clarify. Give some examples. Give some, you're Imam. Is as if you saved all of mankind. If you take a life, it is as if you have taken all of mankind, right?
Context. You're not at least going to say, can you pull this exegesis out so I can read it in the Arabic, and then shame him because Tommy doesn't know Arabic. No. You're just going to cut, Ibn Kathir off. A'udhu billah.
We've got an Islamic scholar who's one of the most renowned in the world. He translates the verse that you just quoted to say kill non-Muslims.
It's not how we translated it, doofus. He's giving exegesis. He's an exegete.
If you look at, one thing is what's on paper. If you look at an example of how the Islamic society, Islamic caliphate ruled for the past 13th century, you will find that isn't the case.
What about the ISIS caliphate?
I agree with that at all.
Why are you bringing up ISIS? This is so baffling. ISIS have killed more Muslims than non-Muslims. ISIS is not... Alright, if you want to believe the conspiracies, man, ISIS might be, not might be, I mean, they were funded by America.
Mr. Roman, are you aware that we are sending $40 million a week to the Taliban?
Yes, sir.
Can you name other instances of foreign aid going to terrorist organizations?
We have assisted Al-Shabaab in Somalia. There's been instances of the Khamsi network in Sudan, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, Kata'iba Hezbollah, Hayat Tahrir al-Shams in Syria. Dozens of terror organizations have received indirect assistance from U.S. foreign aid.
They don't follow anything about Islam. They don't follow any of the Sharia law. They take everything, they misuse it and abuse it. All right, they're kind of Similar to you, I guess, but they don't. You don't do live beheadings, I suppose.
Is
sector you
Old talking point, yeah? John Kerry
Yeah.
himself admitted that they allowed this ISIS group to grow because they wanted to use it as a counterweight against Bashar al-Assad. That's point number one. Point number two, look at the origins of ISIS. They started in Camp Buka, Camp Nama, I think one of the two, and they were majority made up from the ex-military of Saddam, because Saddam's military was disbanded very quickly, and the experts say that was not a wise move because they coalesced and they came together in ISIS. And number three, people that were kept hostage by them gave their observations and said their discussions were not Islamic, they were mostly political.
Absolutely not.
and I follow you on social media quite a lot.
Okay, so he just
Why?
admitted
Why are you following Tommy Robinson on social media? What is this, man? This is ridiculous. That's like, oh man.
he follows him quite a lot on social media. Tommy was just trailing off, yeah? Now, I follow you a lot. You should know that he's constantly insulting Islam, the last prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Islamic principles, making mockery of the burqa and many fundamental teachings of Islam.
And I applaud you for your patriotism, but unfortunately I think that you have maybe got the wrong picture and the wrong version of Islam.
Maybe. Oh, he might have. Maybe he might. Oh my gosh. What gave you that idea, pal?
Okay,
I've
did
watched
I-
your podcast. I
Yeah,
know
go
you have
on.
Muslim friends in growing up in Luton, and I think the area where you have grown up in was mainly Pakistani Kashmiri Muslims.
Pakistan.
Pakistani Kashmiri Muslims. It's the time for the Pakistani Kashmiri Muslims to be.
He's not even paying attention. He's not paying attention. This is not. What type of conversation is this? Look at his face right now, and then look at he's trying to explain something, and Tommy's not even like.
Deobandi is generally people like them. I don't really have any inclination towards those kind of people. I don't really agree.
Ask Tommy, like, what's your issue with them? Or why have you brought them up?
People like them, I don't really have any inclination towards those kind of people. I don't really agree what they kind of do. Going out to the streets and forcing people and being
He brought up Ali Dawah.
For like, I'm so confused. From what I've seen from Ali Dawah's videos, he just conveys the message, right? He's just giving dawah, he's just saying, tell people why they should believe. He doesn't have a gun to their head. If you don't become Muslim, yeah, I'm gonna wallop you. I don't know. I can't do a British accent, but you get my point. It's not.
Don't know if you heard it, yeah? And he said, I have no inclination towards those people. What? People that are giving dawah week in, week out? Giving dawah in the rain, in the cold? What do you not have? What are you inclined?
May Allah reward those people. That's a thing that takes a lot of work, a lot of time, because you have to do a lot of research about not just Islam but other religions, atheism, right? So and you have to sit out, like he said, in the cold, in the rain. Don't throw them under the bus. It's really weird.
Towards then? Tommy Robinson, because you watch his stuff and then he says, yeah, people that are look, listen, this is the problem, when you ask them to condemn the IDF, they do not. They don't.
Yeah, why don't you press Tommy Robinson on his beliefs? Why does he vehemently support Israel? Why does he not support Britain as much, right? He says he's a British supporter, but he also says he's gonna, if he were to fight for any country, he'd fight for Israel first, right? It's always Israel first with this guy. Why don't you press him on that? You claim to be this patriot. Why don't you act like it, huh? Are we patriotic to Israel? Why are we patriotic to Israel? You're asking. You're just getting pressed here, and you're not coming with satisfying responses. He's always gonna manipulate. He's always gonna twist things against you. Like let's see the end of this. Let's see the end of this. Look at this.
Now taking a selfie with them.
I'll practice. See you later.
And that's how I want to end the video. Taking a photo with Tommy Robinson, because that's the most logical and rational thing to do. Like, you guys are best buds. Like, you guys are friends all along. Look at the smile. Look at, like, it's just. Why would you be with this guy? I don't know. Why would you like try to twist things, the religion, to conform? Tommy Robinson is never gonna conform, and he's never gonna agree with you unless you become like what he is. And Allah says that in the Quran. Here it says Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 120. Never will the Jews or the Christians be pleased with you until you follow their faith. Right? And say Allah guidance is the only true guidance, and if you were to follow their desires after all the knowledge that has come to you, there would be none to protect or help you against Allah. Look, that's what I'm trying to get at. They're never gonna like you or be with you unless you conform to them, unless you believe what they believe. But yeah, guys. Other than that, that's all I gotta say. It's been your boy. If you guys did like, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and comment down below what you guys think. And yeah, that's until the next one, guys. I'll see you guys all later. All right, bye.